From Nyx Labs, I'm George Poppy, and this is Digging In, a show where I make someone dinner and we just talk about things. This week's guest is Heather, a DIY artist from Montreal and a personal friend. Let's dig in.
Thank you so much. This looks amazing.
Of course, yeah.
Very nice.
I'm glad. So what we have, that's a good question. We have lemon herb chicken with corn and sweet potato salad.
My favorite, sweet potatoes.
Awesome.
Nice.
I can't remember a little bit. Okay.
Insert photo
Nah.
here.
I did that with Dave.
Yeah.
Where I actually recorded also making the food.
Oh, yes.
And now I'm like, I'm just going to A/B test it.
Yeah.
Because also it takes a lot more focus to be able to record filming the food.
True.
And then it takes my attention away from the food.
True, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also just more work then, so.
Well, I do some videos how to make food, but generally they're very, very loosely done on my iPod, so I don't worry too much about it.
Of course. Yeah, anyways, help yourself.
Well, thank you. How about a cheers?
Cheers.
Nice. It's awesome. I'm very excited about these sweet potatoes.
Yeah. Okay.
Help
I
myself?
will help myself to the sweet potatoes while you
Okey-doke.
help yourself to the chicken. We have too many portions, so like really don't feel like you need to eat everything.
No, I'll just try
Save
a
me
bit
some
of,
food, you know,
bit
for the
of
week.
meat because I don't eat a lot of meat, but I have to try it, of
Yeah,
course.
so what actually, what can, got you to not eat that much meat? Because I know you said earlier that your husband is a carnivore.
Yes.
So that must be a nice relationship as well.
Well, I think I was a bunny in another life. I have to tell you quite honestly,
Okay.
because I've always loved bunnies. I had them as pets growing up. Not only that, you know, it's the love of animals, but just also the love of vegetables.
Yeah.
And on the entrepreneurial side, when I was younger, probably from age, 8 to 10 or 12 or older actually, my mom used to pay me to make a salad every night.
Really?
So when you talk about life's full circles
Yeah.
and foreshadowing, she used to pay me 25 cents a week to make the salad.
Wow.
And so I think that's where my love of veggies started.
Interesting.
And
What did you do with the 25 cents?
Oh gosh. All I can remember is spending it I try to think of like prices. In fact, it's funny because I was just saying to someone the other day on, I think it was on YouTube, this YouTuber guy that I follow, and I forget, what was it? Oh, he made something with bananas. I think he was a recipe or something. And what was it? Some kind of banana recipe. Anyways, he was obsessed with bananas. And I said, oh, it reminds me of when I was a kid, I used to love banana popsicles, which they still sell. But when I was a kid, they were like 7 cents each for popsicles. So,
Yeah, I think about the price of pizza. And I remember getting pizza for $2 on like a special day.
okay, like a whole pizza?
No, just a slice.
Oh, wow.
Like two slices at the downtown pizza place in London.
Okay, yeah.
I remember it was called Toonie Tuesday
Okay.
because you would show up, get 2 slices of pizza for $2.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, you don't find that anymore. It's a
No.
bit weird when it's like $10 for a slice.
It's true.
That's
eh?
gonna be, just gonna be a mind fuck a little bit.
It's true. Well, I think in Montreal it's always been maybe a little cheaper because probably in London, Ontario, maybe prices are a little higher there. But
I don't know if that's true though, because
I don't know.
Because looking at food prices, a lot of times I find that Ontario is cheaper for food.
Really?
Yeah, just by a hair.
Okay.
Okay. But then obviously the cost of living is way more inexpensive in Montreal compared to Toronto
True.
or Ontario.
True.
Yeah.
No, that's actually why I moved here because I was working in Toronto and I was working full time as a graphic artist. And you know, the lifestyle, the big city, going out a lot and high rent, all this and that, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore, you know. And I wanted to work independently. I wanted to be an artist, and there was no way I could have afforded to do it in Toronto.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a big change. Why Montreal? Like, what was the idea?
it was actually sort of decided by fate because I had a friend that was living here. And I'm trying to think of why she was living here. I knew her in Guelph. We went to school together, University of Guelph. And she moved here, I think just she was working at a random job for a year just to try it out. Her brother was here. And then she went home for one summer. And she lived in Sault Ste. Marie, and I subletted her apartment. She offered it. She actually just called me and said she was moving, and she had the sublet. And I'm like, why not? I hate my job, I hate my boss, so I quit, and I moved here for a sublet.
Yeah.
And
just never left then.
I just never left. I loved it. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, moved for the cost of living, and then just fell in love with the culture and everything about Montreal.
Because you do have, like, you explore Montreal
A lot.
incredible. Like, it's, I think you're the best local tourist I know.
Other than Patrick.
Other than Patrick.
Yeah.
But like, it's incredible because like that's also his job at this point.
Yeah, true.
You still do that as a hobby.
I just love it.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's just like it's incredible. Like how often do you go out and like how many hours in a week do you explore Montreal right now?
Actually, a little even more now. Like I would say before, I was coming downtown like once a week. Now my schedule's a little more flexible, so I would say a couple of times a week. But I really like discovering new places, and I'm kind of tripping on coffee right now because since I quit drinking, it's like I'll just discover all the coffee shops in Montreal. And because there's so many good ones now, and I kind of did the tour of all the ones on the West Island, so now it's like, okay, well, let's just try them all. And then friends of ours on Instagram, like Dance Vibes, he originally grew his Instagram because of his love of discovering coffee shops.
Really?
So he would share, and they would, like, I don't know if they sponsored him, but they would always, he'd get a lot of interest based on discovering new places. And so every time he'd put a new one, we'd be like, I gotta go there. So that's kind of got going with that, and I love supporting local entrepreneurs and stuff.
Yeah.
So no, it's just a lot of fun, and of course I love art. So going to the galleries, I love graffiti art, urban art, all that stuff. Yeah.
Like there's so many questions now to dig into, but so like what's your favorite festival for art in Montreal?
Well, I do love the Mural Festival, and
has it changed a lot? Because I hear that it used to be like all over the city, and now it's just like, kind of held into Saint Laurent.
I'm not sure where it started, but the first one I went to was more on St. Catherine.
Okay.
Like a little more St. Catherine East, a little bit. Oh. And I don't even know if it was the actual official mural fest, but I remember the guys up on the scaffolds doing the murals and stuff like that. And then they pretty well moved it over to Saint Laurent, and I think the reason they did that, well, partly it's the main, but also there's the Station C 16 art gallery there.
Yep.
And so it all revolved around that. And I mean, I just love art in general, but I think my interest in that came about because we actually know this woman, Martha Cooper, who was one of the people that really started documenting urban art in New York City.
Yep.
And so I knew her because a friend of hers had bought her some of my camera earrings like years ago at the Ottawa Folk Festival.
Oh wow! And
gave them to her as a gift a couple years in a row. And so one day I got this phone call from this woman, and she said, "Oh, my name's Martha, and I live in New York, and my friend bought these earrings, and I tracked you down and all this stuff, and I've never heard of her,
who is this Martha?
My child was young, and I lived in a bubble in the West Island, and then it's like, okay, fine. And I think I mailed them to her. I mailed her some earrings, and then we got in conversations, and then at one point I was going to New York City, quite a few years later, arranged to meet her, and so she came to our hotel, and I had made her some earrings, so she came, bought the earrings and stuff. And then she said, "Oh, I'll give you a little tour around." And she also gave us some of her books that she, documenting her photography and stuff. And she signed them. And so she took us on a little tour around New York City. And she had written this book called Going Postal. And it's all like when at the beginning when those little graffiti stickers were popular in New York City. And what they used to do is they go to the post office and grab these postal stickers, I guess for addresses or something, or express stickers, and they do their tags on the stickers, and then they tag them up all over New York City, and so she documented, like she wrote a whole book about it.
Yep.
But what she does, which is sort of like acceptable or not, who knows, but anyway, she's Martha, she can do it. So she brought us around, and she had this stuff. It was adhesive remover, so she'd go around, looked like a spray paint bottle. She'd spray the stickers and then just let it sit for a second. Then she'd peel them right off, and they peel right off. And we're like, this is so cool. So we went around New York City with her peeling off graffiti stickers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what the graffiti artists think about that.
That I don't know. That, like I said, it's sort of not kind of politically correct, but because she is who she is.
Yeah, she has a pass.
She has a pass. So I don't know if anyone else. I mean, you see people try to peel them off all the time.
Of course. Or it's like with Banksy art, where people will literally try to take the wall with them.
True, eh?
Yeah, no, that's interesting. You always seem to have these kind of quirky stories. I don't know how you actually get yourself into them.
Well, and you know what? Mimi says the same things. We meet the most interesting people, and people kind of adopt us like into their family sometimes. You know, it's I guess because we're pretty non-assuming, right? And we just meet people, and I think I'm just open. You know, I really like to meet interesting people, and open to adventure, and really fascinated by what people do.
Yeah, no, because I remember the first time I met you, like you were literally just like walked into my apartment.
That's right. Just like,
okay.
I know. That's right. Because I think it was Dave. We met David Buffer.
During Dave's shoot. Yeah.
We met David Buffer, and he said he actually approached me.
Really?
He didn't know me. He said because we were all there with the U2 Montreal people, and he said we should collab sometime. And I'm like,
Dave's big on saying that.
Who are you? And so anyways, he gave
Dave's
me...
gonna be heartbroken by that. I know, a little bit. It's like that.
So he gave me his username, and his username's so random. You know, it doesn't really express who he is and stuff. So I looked at it, and it's like, I make drinks, bitches. And it's like, oh, okay, this is it. I wouldn't mind to collaborate with this guy. I'm not quite sure what I can do, but hey, we'll figure something out.
That's interesting because like you've mentioned like even today like that you stopped drinking and then you collaborate with someone that has an alcohol challenge. Like
which is why it took a little while to figure out how we could collaborate. I think that was it. And then after a while I thought about it, and that's when the DIY, you know, make a little swizzle stick came to mind. And usually these ideas kind of evolve, but we sort of did a parallel collab because we weren't really in each other's video as such, but collabs can be done in many ways.
Yeah, they can. It's because like you've also been around YouTube for a while. Like, how long have you been doing it for? Because I forget. Yeah.
Actually, Mimi's been doing it longer, probably since 2010. Is that possible? And she'd been doing. Well, originally she started with music video, and then she got into this doll culture type of thing. And then after I saw her doing it for a while, I said, oh, why don't I just try it? And then I saw a lot of entrepreneurs were doing video for different things. And so the first video was just like a really crappy tour of my dining room table, which is where I work. And terrible quality, really bad. And I think I filmed it on a movie camera, possibly. I think I bought one of those little cheap Panasonic, you know, those little ones. I bought it on St. Catherine Street. Store's closed now. So I did that, and then the second, that one, I think I borrowed a friend's camera. I borrowed a friend's Panasonic camera, and the same friend, it's a friend of mine, Patricia Strigley, she's a writer, artist, all this stuff. And the other video I filmed, maybe even before that, was at her house. I used to go over to her house and she'd paint, I'd craft and all this stuff. So I brought some stuff over there, and she filmed me making these little fabric beads. And then that video did well. It got 40,000 views or something. And
that's
like
better than a little
really crappy camera.
It's okay. Like I've never had a piece of original content do that well. So
well, there you go. There you go. So it takes time, but you know. It's just a little discouraging when you see other DIY things. It's like millions of views and all this stuff.
It's also like it's easy to see the success of like any video because one video can easily do well, but it just people forget like all the work and effort that goes into like doing it all the time.
It's true
because you don't get success just with a one-off.
No, it's true. It's true, and it's really a process. And I know I've sort of done like a lot of research into how to be successful and how to get more views and subscribers and stuff. And I actually did a video, how to, tips for YouTubers and stuff, because I find it's nice to share with other people too what you learn and
course.
stuff. But recently, you know, Pascal from Him and Him,
Yep.
he actually was on, did sort of a thing on this thing called Filmora. I don't know if you saw their...
I didn't see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I first saw it, I'm one of his Patreon supporters, so he put up the video on there too. And basically what it is, it's a website, and I think they do other things as well, but part of what they do is supporting YouTubers and sharing tips and stuff.
Yeah.
So they had like, I don't know, 10 different YouTubers giving tips for success on YouTube. They were talking about using like metadata, descriptions, and all the stuff like that. And then other ones were talking about branding and simple things like sound, technical stuff, and different things like that. But after watching that series, and you know how some things take a while to like
Sink in.
So after watching that series, I'm like, I gotta do something. I gotta do something else. So it's always these little stages, right? Like originally I had taken my channel and split it into 3 because I had like DIY, I had recipes, I had music, so split it into 3. And now after watching this series, I went back and I looked at which videos were popular. Kind of like this whole learning curve, like you've tried different things, you're seeing what works, what doesn't work. And I'm seeing that the ones that are working are all my wire videos. Like making wire jewelry and this and that. And I'm thinking, and my channel's called Heather Boyd Wired, duh. You know, it's like, okay, so a bell went off there. And so what I did was I went back and actually, I didn't delete them. I wasn't sure about the views and stuff, but I privated a whole bunch of videos that didn't really fit. I'm not going back too far, like the ones that are back, like,
if someone really wants to see
the
originals,
that's it.
They can put the effort in and search it. But yeah.
Exactly. So I kept, you know, but at least I want the first couple of rows to be just wire. Yeah. So that's what I did, and I was uploading twice a week, and now I'm like, no, that's too much. So now I'm doing once a week, and I'm gonna just do wire stuff. I don't even have to think anymore. I can just like. My brain will just go there and that'll be it.
Yeah, just like it's interesting how like you've almost automated it in a way and just try to simplify it.
Exactly.
Because it's like it's any other job, you just show up every single day.
Exactly.
Or however like much you're gonna do it, so once a week.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. No, I think that's what it's all about is doing things consistently, but not necessarily like killing yourself to do it either. No, because it definitely takes time.
Yeah, of course. It's just like because how has your journey been? Because obviously like it seems like you keep on reinventing yourself at certain points in your life.
Yes. Yeah.
But like you also did study fine art, so like you were in the art sector for the beginning.
Yeah. So I did. I studied fine art, and I actually took a minor in consumer studies. Well, that's what it was called at the time at the University of Guelph. And one of the reasons I chose Guelph was because you could do 2 very diverse areas of study. Whereas if I applied to Queen's and York and I think Ottawa, you were one of those, and they were all just fine art, and that was it. And it was kind of fate decided because the other universities required a portfolio, and my art sucked in high school.
That's like whose art is good in high school is very fair.
Exactly. Well, some people in my classes' art was good, mine wasn't good. So they they didn't accept me, but it was meant to be because I went to Guelph, and so I was able to take fine art and marketing, consumer studies, design, things like that. So it was A, much more interesting, and B, had much more practical.
It's just like the advantage of being able to know how to market your art instantly.
Exactly.
Surpasses any artist because I always have that issue with artists where like they have this idea that you need to be a starving artist to like really have soul into it. It's like no, like your art does need to represent who you are and like have it reflect the pain and sorrow that you go through in normal life, but you don't need to suffer more because you're an artist.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think that's sort of an old school concept, and certainly people like Van Gogh and all those artists that, you know, when there weren't such opportunities necessarily.
Though I also have heard rumors that like Van Gogh, he actually cut his ear off as a marketing ploy because he knew it would drive his art to be higher. And that's also why he only cut part of his ear off.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that. That's cool.
Yeah.
This art's pretty nice though.
Yeah. It's just like that idea, just like, you know, that the artists that are going to make it big are the ones that have suffered the most. So it becomes a competition of like, I've suffered so greatly.
True. That's right. Eh?
For the people that are marketing themselves properly instead of just doing it for the art.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because when you talk about suffering and talking about entrepreneurs, there's a big part of being a successful entrepreneur, which is this sort of hero's journey and the struggle.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes you think, oh, you know, do I have to have like a terrible hard past or a crisis or whatever to be able to own like they talk about owning your story, you know, and in that sense of the word, and really so you start to wonder, well, to what degree do I have to have suffered to become you know, successful?
Yeah.
And to what degree do I want to really tell the world how I've suffered?
Yeah.
Because you start to wonder, do you have to kind of break yourself open to have some kind of success?
Yeah, it's...
I don't know.
That's tough. I like, obviously, like being... When I used to daily vlog, it felt like that, where I was just opening it a little too much at times.
Yes.
But then at times, I was like, I'm not opening it enough, because the interesting things are those hard moments that you can't predict. And it's just that balance act as well. I don't know how you navigate that. It's just like,
I found like, because I watched all your vlogs,
but I know you're like one of the few people.
Fan, but I found you were open, but you didn't divulge too much that wasn't
Relevant.
necessary, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe if you did decide to kind of own that story and really want to be able to help people necessarily in that specific realm, it's okay. But I think at some point it's not necessary. You know what I mean? Like, it just depends on what your purpose is. I think it's definitely good to spread awareness.
Yeah.
But maybe not necessarily. There's certain things that maybe don't have to be said. I don't know.
Or I find potentially that some things need to be said. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that you yourself are the person that needs to say them.
True.
Because
yeah,
I was watching a new show, Atypical. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's about like the story centers around a boy that's autistic and his family and like how they deal with him. And it was interesting because I watched it because I always like those stories of like showing like people and circumstances that are not typical, so they're atypical. So good name for the show on that front.
Yeah, great.
But I was reading reviews, and one reviewer said like the best actor was the boy with who was playing an autistic teenager, because like he has such a great depth like of character, and like he's trying to get to that like showing what like autism can be like. But then another reviewer who like stated in the article that they themselves have autism was like, this is playing it up too much. It's hamming it. It is playing into the like just this kind of false idea. Just so it's like, yes, he's autistic. So what? It's like, what's like every single episode, it's you see the autism there. Yeah, and that's not real life. It's
true. Well, because it is a spectrum too. You know, I guess they decided to choose the far end of the spectrum.
Except it's weird because he's high functioning on the show, so it's not like he's going to be someone that should be showing symptoms all the time. Okay. It was, I have that issue where I think it's okay. Hopefully it wasn't something I cooked into it along here. But it's just like, it comes back to, I think they didn't do enough research or like have enough people that have like either had a like sister or sibling or a kid who has autism.
Quality control there, yeah.
And they like, it was also the fact that it's very clear that they're trying to make a really realistic show with autism, which is good. It needs to happen. Yeah. It's happening more and more often. That's right. Which is great. It's just, they just forget that you actually need to consult with the people who have that instead of just like making it up.
Well, yeah. No, I'm going to have to check that out. I haven't seen that. I actually haven't even heard of that one.
It's brand new. It just got released August 11th. Okay. So for anyone watching this is about, it's been a month probably.
There you go.
But yeah.
How old is the character with autism?
He's 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like an interesting transitional point because he is just he's in his senior year, he's about to move out. Okay. His parents have been going through struggles, his sister's like been dealing with it. It does show a lot of interesting family dynamics. Okay. But they're also caricatures of themselves to a certain extent. And I don't know. They've set it up for a second season because that's what every single Netflix show does now.
Yeah, it's true, eh?
Yeah.
And was the critique only by one particular reviewer, or were there other
I've
people
only,
that said the same?
Yeah, I've only
thing?
read 2 critiques right now.
Okay.
It is a new show, and I've only done so much research.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It's weird to always have that spectrum because I understand the writers where like you want to show autism and like if it's central to the story you've set up, the show that it needs to always be there. Otherwise,
That's
like
right.
you kind of not selling the show properly.
Yeah.
But because like you're trying to move the story forward, and I get it, like
Yeah.
that's going to be the things that cause the most tension.
Okay. So they're
But
going to be
it's-
focusing on things that are more what people expect to see from
Exactly.
people with autism.
Instead of
Yeah.
just telling a very heartfelt story that's more true to life. Because a lot of people also like my issue is that a lot of people really hate normal lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it needs to be sensationalized. It always needs to be something going to an extreme, either good or bad. It can't just be normal.
It's true. It's true. And what is
Yeah.
normal? Anyways, it's true.
Of course. But there's also like a really interesting genre right now, mumblecore,
Oh.
where it's like the idea. I'm probably gonna butcher what it actually is, but as far as I understand it, it's not about the plot at all. It's just
Okay.
about the conversation, the dialogue that happens.
Oh, I see.
There's a really good Netflix show, and it's based in Chicago. I forget what it's called. It's not Love, which is a different show, which is still good on
Okay.
Netflix. I'm gonna find it, but
okay. Cool.
yeah, it's like it's every single episode focuses on a different relationship
Okay.
between people, and it's raw, and it seems like a very real
Okay.
experience.
And it's more like a conversation.
Yeah, just like conversations that
Interesting.
happen. It's like there's
Yeah.
there is some plot to it, but it's
Okay.
very much in the background. It doesn't really matter. It's more about, okay, there's a plot going on, but how do these characters actually react, and what
It's
are they
true.
thinking, and how are they feeling?
It's
That's
true.
what's the core of it.
It's interesting because we
yeah.
just watched a film the other night on Netflix, and the whole thing took place at a wedding reception.
Yep.
It was called Wedding. I don't know what it's called. Anyways,
Some
it was
wedding
just
movie.
these conversations really between these conflicts and referring to past and at one point we're thinking, I think going to switch scenes. Is the whole thing going to be
Yeah.
at this? And it was the whole thing. So we ended up, it wasn't that great. So we just fast forward, and basically got the gist of the film in a very short period of time, which was fine. Whereas other films in the same kind of genre, like a friend of mine's son, he made this movie called The Union.
Okay.
And he's a young filmmaker. It's he's doing many projects. Like this is his first. I think it was his first feature film.
Okay.
This was another incident that my friend, who I don't know that well, posted on Facebook. My son's having a film premiere in New York in 2 weeks, and here's the information if anybody wants it. I'm like, buy tickets. And I'm like, okay, where
Yes,
is
that
this
is the
place?
best.
It's like 5 hours away. It's middle of the summer. It's like 30 degrees, and this dinky little town is called Hoboken. Apparently, they want to have one of the biggest film festivals in the States.
Yeah.
And so we went, knew nothing about the movie, hadn't watched the trailer, didn't know anything. And we went, and it was so good.
Wow.
And same idea. The whole thing takes place in the span of the wedding reception. Few references to the past. The boy is the main character is a bartender, and it flashes back to him as a boy, but not a lot of jumping back, but really interesting, conversation and story, and I loved it so much. It was so good. But part of what I found interesting about that film was, the lighting, the cinematography, and the dramatic, like the colors, and like
you can see the artistry in it.
yeah, like the two difference, because that one was filmed more like in this older building, and it was like it was library. It was filmed in a library because apparently the couple met in a library.
Yeah.
Very rich, colors, architecture, whatever. Whereas the other one that we watched on Netflix was filmed like it looks like it was filmed in someone's backyard, in this big.
They just put
the
up a
head
camera. It
table.
kind of happened.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They had the big head table, and I'm like, doesn't that look like The Last Supper? I'm like, this is.
Maybe there might be an analogy to that.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, you find some treasures on Netflix. Really good, George.
I am glad to hear.
What's that spice?
I have no idea.
Oh, do they give you a spice?
They gave
mix?
me the spice blend.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, it kind of tastes like maybe thyme.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think if I really wanted to do the research, it would tell. Like I
They
could
would
find
probably
it.
write the ingredients.
It does look like thyme, because it's from the chicken.
Or maybe that's on the chicken.
It's from the chicken. It's
Yeah,
not,
yeah, yeah.
Because
Okay.
and there it's really simple. It was just sweet potato, corn, basil, scallions, some vinegar. Yep.
It's really good.
Yeah, the chicken spice was really good.
I got a good picture of that one. I won't post that one because my vegans won't like it. It's a little off-brand.
It's interesting to think like you have to think about that.
True. It's true. No, it's funny.
Does it feel like a double life?
Yes and no. If I was trying to really market myself as a vegan, it would definitely be a double life. But I'm pretty transparent. You know, I don't write anywhere that I am a vegan. And I remember once I posted, what was it? Oh, I know it was I posted a recipe on YouTube on my other channel, and it was for some kind of dessert, and there was honey in it. And honey's not vegan.
Yeah, it's not.
And someone wrote, yeah, it's not, honey's not vegan. And so I had to put a disclaimer in the description to say for the vegan option, use agave instead of honey, which I've done, you know, sometimes for recipes.
No, of course.
I know. No. I didn't know.
Yeah,
At the time I didn't know. I just, I didn't know much about veganism.
I feel like honey is an overkill with like being vegan. Just a little bit. But
seems a little extreme.
But I also think veganism is a little extreme. But I get it. Like it has its reasons and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's like it's not for me, so I could not. Yeah.
Well, that's
it's too much. Like vegetarianism. Once they perfect like vegetable meat, I have no issues with doing that.
It's true. It's true.
But like, there's so many good byproducts. Like cheese,
yeah,
ice cream. I couldn't live. I would die.
I used to feel that way, honestly, George. I really thought, oh, how am I going to survive without cheese? In fact, I tried making vegan cheese.
Yeah.
You can make it with, because I went to a vegan retreat in Costa Rica a couple of years ago. It was actually a raw vegan retreat. And they hired like a chef, well, I guess you call it a chef that does raw food. And he used to bring in the most amazing stuff. It was so good. It was really, really good. And actually, the guy that ran the retreat, his name is Victorious. I forget his last name, but he's like the godfather of the vegan food movement. Okay. He's like an older guy, and he's like kind of little magané these days. But he made this seed cheese, I guess it was. Yeah. So it's like sunflower seeds. Okay. You blend it in you're probably gonna puke, but if he blends it in a blender with sauerkraut, and covers it up and lets it ferment for like 24 hours or something. Well,
like cheese is fermented dairy, so it makes sense that it would be fermented. Yeah,
that's it. And it was actually pretty good. And I made it at home a couple of times, and I did like the whole vegan lasagna and this and that. It was good, but then the one day I left it too long. And I picked it up, and the smell, and it was like slimy, and it's just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
It's just like a lot of extra steps, it sounds like.
Well, that's it. Yeah. So I don't know if I would pursue that extreme, but there's other things
of course
you can eat.
It's also just like, it comes back to the fact that anything will taste good when you have someone that knows how to prepare that food well. And
no, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And I just think your tastes really change. Like I've found since I've kind of morphed more vegetarian, my taste for meat is really dwindling, and even the taste for cheese. But also because there's so many people that are intolerant now. Like my niece, my sister especially, she can't eat any dairy, any I think actually meat she's okay. It's the dairy and the gluten. She can't eat any of that stuff. It just totally bloats her, and she feels sick and stuff. And so she's found other ways to do it. And I actually like some of that stuff, like not all of it, but gluten-free bread, for example. At first I thought, why do you have to? But the texture is pretty nice if you get a good one. Yeah. Like most of them are just made with like tapioca starch.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times they just like throw it out there because they know they're gonna have the easy sell because people love gluten and everything. Like gluten-free is a trend, it's a fad. Again,
it definitely is. Yeah.
It's like the same way that I can't eat cheddar, like the fake cheddar, the orange one. Yeah. That's not real cheddar.
No, true.
That's just like someone trying to make a quick buck off cheese.
True. Like mozzarella and stuff. Like if anything, old cheese is a little bit better, but what kind of cheese do you eat?
Well, my favorite is usually like a 3 to 5 year old cheddar.
No.
Yeah. It's like it has like that sharp, bitter taste, and it's clean. Or Gouda. Gouda's also good.
Oh yeah, true.
I know. It's
True.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big
true,
cheese
eh?
fan. I think that's one thing I could not live with it. Like dairy, I could not cut out of my diet.
Okay.
It would be such a big part of my diet, just
Really, eh?
removed.
Yeah.
At least at this point in life. Maybe it changes.
Oh yeah, and
You
if
never
you
know.
don't have a need for it,
Mhm.
like I just find it was just kind of a natural progression. Although when
Yeah.
I am out and about, I would eat it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as like attracted to it as I was
Yeah.
before. But like mac and cheese, give me a good mac and cheese. I don't know. Have you ever been to Burger Royale?
I have actually, yeah.
Okay, because they make it with they just do like a basic mac and cheese,
Yeah.
but they put like cheese curds in it. And they don't do it anymore, but I talked to the waitress and she said if you ask for it,
Okay.
they'll put them in there. But I guess most people actually didn't like them because they found them a little like what are these weird like squeaky things and like
Yeah.
crab and like mac and cheese. But
You love
I
it.
love it. I like that kind of weird texture. You
So
know?
poutine.
Poutine, but see, I don't like poutine because I don't like
Is the gravy.
the gravy and stuff.
Did you do vegetarian poutine? Where like the gravy is substitute for something else?
I've never tried it, but I love fries. My
Okay.
husband has a deep fat fryer,
Ooh.
but we keep it on the deck because we don't like the smell in the house. So we don't have a barbecue, but we have a deep fat fryer on our deck, and he's got one of those little hot plates on the deck to cook his meat and
Of course.
stuff. But he makes fries and I can't stop. It's just like, don't even let me have one. It's ridiculous.
Sorry for making sweet potato buns.
No, this is perfect. Sweet
it?
potatoes are my
Okay.
thing. Yeah, definitely. So what other foods do you like?
That's a good question. At this point, I'm trying to expand as much as possible.
Yeah.
So like my go-to cuisines are Italian and French.
Nice.
That's what I grew up on.
Okay, cool.
Italian because it's easy to cook.
True.
Like,
True.
if I need to make something quick, I will make Italian food
Nice.
because I can make something in 20 minutes and be done.
True. Yeah.
And then French, my parents love French food.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my mom like beef bourguignon.
Oh wow. The real
like
stuff.
the real stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So like that kind of like higher elevated cuisine.
Yeah. True.
So just rich in butter
Yeah.
and
true.
drenching it in wine.
True.
That is kind of the go-to. You kind of get good food at like regardless of what you do after
True,
that.
Yeah.
But
Did you have cassoulet? That Mark used to talk about cassoulet. He was married to a French
Interesting,
woman,
yeah.
and she used to make this cassoulet thing. I think it's just like a casserole with meat and
I
stuff.
think so. I feel like I've had it.
not
It
quite
sounds
sure what it
familiar.
is. They
I
sell
don't
it in a can, so it must be popular.
Anything sold in a can
Yeah,
must be popular.
really, yeah, exactly.
But then I've been trying to experiment more with different like cuisines as well. So I've been doing a lot of sushi lately. Very much getting into that.
Love sushi. Yeah.
Like Japanese culture also just has always fascinated me. I've studied it
Interesting.
weirdly enough in
Okay.
high school and elementary school that whenever there's a project, I just always happen to do Japan.
Interesting.
For some reason, I don't know.
Okay.
It cropped up too often.
Okay. There's something there.
Yeah, there's something there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like I like the culture, at least how I've heard and described it. It
Yeah.
seems like it's something that I would really like to experience.
Okay.
Japan is like one of the 3 countries next on the list of where to go.
Okay. I have a friend that just moved there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's an artist, and her husband got transferred there.
Yeah.
So she packed up all her art stuff, left some of the paintings here, and so she's starting up again over there.
Wow.
And the pictures they post on Facebook, it looks amazing.
I can imagine. It
Yeah.
seems like it's just a completely different world because they were so isolated for so many years.
Yeah, true.
Like it was. I think literally they didn't open up their borders for up until about 200 years ago.
Okay. Yes.
Because they just were like their own little island. They're like not attached to. Like they have Asian influence, but like it's not that strong.
Yeah. True.
It's like very much an insular, their own kind of thing.
It's true. Eh?
So yeah, that's always like a culture that I've enjoyed.
What the interest is, eh?
I don't know. It's
Yeah, because I have. It's funny. I went to high school with this guy, Mark Rosewell.
Yep.
And he was always fascinated with China, and he learned Mandarin when he was in high school, and
Oh, wow.
everybody thought he was like crazy. You know, it's like why?
because it seems like it's crazy. You know?
Yeah, and even at that time, people didn't talk about going out to Vancouver and there being a lot of Chinese or what have you. And he was so fascinated with it, and so finally he did his degree at U of T, and I guess he did a semester in China, and I don't even know how it happened, but he got a spot on TV.
Oh, wow.
doing a stand-up comedy routine with another guy, and because his Mandarin was impeccable, and he's like this tall white guy, you know, doing this stand-up routine, and he became popular in China, and like hugely popular. So now he's known by like millions and millions of people in China, and he's sort of like this Canadian ambassador.
Interesting.
A cultural ambassador to China now, and they call him Big Mountain, and Dashan is his name.
That seems like so stereotypical of Canada.
I know,
It's a big mountain. You're a big white guy.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's what you're gonna get called from now on.
But just to show you, you know, you never know. Like some of these inklings that we have, like turn into incredible things. You just never know.
It's like I can imagine it's interesting to see, like everyone that you went to high school with, where they ended up.
Yes. Yeah.
Because like it's starting to be weird for me.
Yeah.
Because like I'm 5 years out now of high school.
5 years. Okay.
And like everyone's on like a different kind of path. I just had a friend get married.
Oh wow.
That was a weird
That's
experience.
Young.
Yeah.
That's young.
But it was like the best. Like, it was the nicest wedding ever,
Cool.
and it was like the most down to earth. It was incredible. I'm so happy.
Nice.
But then it's just like, then I like for me example, nowhere near that at all.
No, exactly.
And then like everyone's like in different places.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting to see like some people you could see like they got into the same thing that they were really passionate about in high school and just like kept on going.
Okay.
Other people like veered completely different direction.
Different. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's.
Have any stood out in your mind that have done something like really interesting?
That's a good question. That is a very good question. I don't know. I think it's like the weird, like the really ridiculous ones. I think they just need more time to develop it for it to be like, oh, this is like actually what's going to be. 5 years isn't enough time.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Because like everyone's like, I know a lot of people who are like going to med school now.
Okay, true.
Like that's like the easy path to see like, oh, you're going to be successful and like this is what you're going to do.
That's right. That's
the ones that are going on a more of a curvy path.
Yeah.
I think it takes a bit more time.
No,
I also say that just so I have hope myself because I'm
Yeah.
on that like
Yeah.
uber windy path. I have no
That's
idea where
it.
it's going.
That's it. But when you were in high school, you were interested in technology and filmmaking, things like that?
I
or
love
not so
film, but
much?
I didn't think I would ever be in it. I
Interesting.
honestly,
Okay.
I was such an academic student.
Okay.
I had always been an academic student, and I thought I was going to be a philosophy prof. I'd actually even like done a co-op with 2 philosophy profs at Western.
Interesting.
And so it was just like, I just thought like, okay, I'm gonna be in academia, and that's gonna be what I do.
Yeah.
Completely, and then just like,
interesting.
yeah.
But like you said, this whole filmmaking is about storytelling and just another way to go about it. It's true.
Like the reason why I wanted to be a philosophy prof was to be able to impact like what people think of like big important ideas.
Yeah.
And I had a prof tell me like don't go in academia for various reasons.
Interesting.
But like I think the point kind of sank in the most when I realized if I am in academia, I will write papers for academics.
Yeah.
And it will go nowhere, and it will
exactly.
It will just be things that I don't like because it's stuffy and stuck up.
Yeah.
And as much as like I enjoy that to a certain extent, I don't like writing that. It's not my voice. Is like I never wanted to make it sound jargony and complicated.
Exactly.
I wanted to like get to the heart of something simple.
Well, and it's not accessible for people. It's a very isolated little micro community.
Yeah.
So no, I totally get that.
Except like it goes against everything that like entrepreneurs say. Like find your niche and then stick to that niche.
Yeah.
I'm just like just do everything general.
Yeah.
See what sticks.
Well, exactly.
yeah.
You get there. That's right.
Well, yeah, that's why you have more success with The Wire. Like you like niche yourself.
Well, that's it.
Perfectly.
And that's the thing. And it was kind of always. It's like a full circle thing because I always loved drawing, and so it is like drawing with the wire type of thing. And but me too. I've always liked to try different things. I don't like to be stuck in one thing. And even when I was, when the business was up and down, I would do little jobs, but nothing that I would get stuck in that routine for. I'd make enough money to like travel or do whatever but I just like to be open and definitely try different things but now I'm seeing that because it's going to be easier for my head to just to niche like that and because I think at some point your brain needs a rest and I know in the last couple of years I've been doing more meditation. I got back into yoga a couple of years ago and I never thought I would have the patience for it because when I was younger, I was much more, all over the map and busy and that kind of thing. And I thought, you don't really see the value in it so much when you're younger, but I mean, some people do. Some people are.
I can say this as someone who started to meditate
early, but
But like, for like the longest time, I was like, oh, what, meditation? Nah.
Yeah.
And then it like really took going through a lot, just be like, okay, no, I'm gonna force myself to take 15 minutes out of my day, just to have nothing else. Just like, this is the time just to focus, be in the present. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like,
so you do meditate?
I have been meditating like very regularly.
Very nice.
I've been pretty much militant about doing it daily.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you use a soundtrack? Or what do you
I use Headspace, so the app, and like they just have like it makes it really gamifying meditation, so that you see that like you've been doing it every single day, because it tracks like how many days have you done it in a row.
Yes.
So like my highest I got to was like 60 days, like just shy of 60 days, I think.
So to see you've done it consistently for 60 days.
So it was kind of nice to see that, and then
cool.
It's also kind of nice to like look back now, because I've started meditating about 4 or 5 months ago.
Okay, nice.
And it's like I see that I've done like over 100 plus like sessions.
Yeah.
I've like been like I've racked up over 1,000 hours, like 1,000 minutes meditating. So it's like it's kind of nice just to see that.
Okay. Because I had an app like that too. It was called Sattva.
Yeah.
And I was doing it pretty regularly, and then just
life happens.
You get distracted, and I don't know. Do you do it at a certain time of day?
I try to do it first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
If I don't do it first,
it's
it's just like that's the one thing. It's just like this is the one thing I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
But like there's also like, because I have a hard issue, because I think it's always about like when you're trying to add something new into your life, that it's easiest to have that be the first thing, because like then it's easy to do.
True.
So it's like I need to get back into going to the gym regularly.
Okay, yeah.
Because like I used to be a rower, just like really competitive.
Okay, cool.
And then I stopped after my first year in university, just because I didn't have the best experience with my coach.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of ruined the sport for me. Kind of sad.
Yeah.
It happens. But like I just miss that kind of exhaustion feeling.
Yeah, it's
like,
true, right?
Yeah, and it just, so it's kind of nice to meditate, to like to have that like stillness and calm.
True.
But I also want to like go to bed tired.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, I find I do a yoga class twice a week that's pretty intense, and so I find that really gets me, gets my energy out. Except I twisted my back the other night, but she's a little too challenging sometimes, this woman. But you just have to kind of adapt it to your skills. To your own practice,
as they say.
But I'm definitely disciplined about going to yoga, because I really enjoy it. I find it really motivating. Yeah. It's just the meditation. And I actually there's a guy that wrote a book called Tiny Habits. I don't know if you know that one.
No, I don't know the book.
But it's about like hooking habits onto other habits type of things. So I've been trying to find a way to make this habit stick, but I find it very hard when you live with people to get into a routine, because everybody's got their own thing, and just even the noise factor, just having other people around, it's very it's a different dynamic.
Yeah, like I'm really trying to take advantage of the fact that I live alone right now.
Yes.
To build all the good habits.
Yeah, true.
So then when I don't, I don't like revert back.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. And find someone that's on the same page. It's like, hear about couples that meditate together, and my husband would be like, wow, forget it.
How does that where do you stand on that? Like, how much should couples do together?
Well, don't look at us for an example, because we're extremely independent.
Okay.
Like Mark, the running joke in our family is, where's Mark? Because he's always like doing his own thing, and we don't travel together. He doesn't like to travel. If he goes downtown a lot, he's got his bike downtown, and I'm like, oh, well, let's take the bus together. He's like, God, he's like, okay. We actually had a whole day together the other day. It was our anniversary.
Oh, wow.
So that was kind of special, but it's like, okay, remember this, because you're not going to see this again. But you know what? That's what I attracted, right? Like, I'm an extremely independent person. I love people, but I love my alone time. And I think just experiences also growing up and seeing friends, family members being kind of suffocated by their spouses. To me, it was always a priority to be independent. And, when I was to have a spouse, it would be someone that could live with that, and the idea of like going on dates all the time together and this and that. It
wasn't for you.
It wasn't for me, and I never even had that fairy tale idea about getting married, and I remember friends, always talking about, the idea of getting married and doing this and that, and it's just it actually never even really occurred to me. Like I didn't see myself as being in that kind of. But you know, for us it works. It's what we both like. My husband was married before. He'd kind of been there, done that type of thing, and then when we overlap, it's great. And
that's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
because you don't hear a lot of those stories where
you don't.
They're just like two completely independent, and like you're content with that. Because like there's a lot of people who have those like very separate lives, and then there's animosity because of that.
Yes, it's true. It's true. No, I think that's true, and I think because we both have passions of what we like to do, and we don't want to impose what we love to do on the other person. And
I can imagine there's a lot of trust in that. Like you just have to like be like, okay, this is like what you do, and like just be okay that this is like their world.
Yeah, I think that's it. And no, he's very quirky, and he's got his things that he likes to do. He likes to like bike around downtown. He fixes things, and he's really good around the house. He does all the gadgets. And actually, I just made a comic about him. What was it? Oh, fixing our car with a soup can, the muffler.
Wow.
This is
interesting.
This is the Mark method. This is what we call it. So you'll see our fridge. It's like covered with like insulating silver foam wrapped around it. Our hooks to hang up our coats are like big giant screws. And for people that like home decor, they would not like this. And I don't know how many women would like to live that way, but I don't see it, you know. I don't, because I'm so into my own art and my own thing. I don't even see it.
I think that's like the most adorable thing I've heard in a while.
It's very funny. Yeah. No, I'm not an IKEA kind of home decor girl.
Well, to be fair, IKEA like decor is not the best. Like,
true, yeah.
Even I'm higher than that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, your apartment's pretty sparse, eh?
It is sparse. I like the minimalist look, but it's like it's not IKEA.
No,
I can tell you that.
True.
It's because like it's also I got burned into me. I think this is the classic European where like you buy something and you intend for it to last generations.
Yeah.
It's because like my mom would tell me of my grandfather would always say like you're not rich enough to buy something like all the time.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like I just like it's been ingrained in me almost.
It's
where
true.
like it's almost to a point where it's actually like a problem a little bit because I will buy things that are expensive with the idea that it's going to last because it's expensive.
Last.
Yeah.
Okay. Even if it becomes obsolete.
Yeah. But it's that idea. It's like
it's true.
At times I'm like I should just like buy like the thing that's like just like it's just a quick fix and like I get that.
Yeah, that's
but
it.
Because again it's always like you want to find the happy medium of anything.
Interesting. Because I guess I don't have that kind of mentality either because we do use a lot of recycled things too, and so that's sort of the angle that I go at is repurposing things and using things, which is how I grew up, you know. And I remember when I was a kid, my grandmother, she was way ahead of her time. She used to stack up the newspapers and she would pay us to like string them up. I remember it. I remember doing it, like stringing them up with string, double stringing them, and then she must have had a place that would pick them up or drop them off for recycling.
Interesting.
Nobody recycled in those days. No, she would do that. And then of course my mom and my dad's retired, but he was an engineer, and he used to come home with these huge plans. So white paper with all like the he was a traffic engineer, so all the like road designs on the back. Yeah, and we used to wrap our Christmas gifts with this white paper and draw on them. Like we wouldn't buy wrapping paper, we just draw on these, and so he had these, and then he'd come home with these massive books of same thing, like sketches or notes on one side, different color paper, pink, blue, yellow, and he called them specs. So I don't know would that be short for
speculative
specs?
work?
Yeah, that type of thing. So books of specs. I remember they had like
or specifications probably like certain designs. Yeah.
That
makes sense.
So they were blank on one side. So those were our sketchbooks.
That's cool.
And we used to draw on these, and so we always had art paper and the wrapping paper, and I think that really instilled a lot of the whole kind of recycling, upcycling, making do type of thing. Yeah.
I can definitely see how like that influenced what you do now in a way. That's really interesting. I didn't know that at all. Wow.
Yeah, no, that was cool. And like I said, my grandma was way ahead of her time, and my mom, and
it's interesting when you like realize like those like formative years.
Yes.
How big of an impact they really have.
Yeah. No, it's true.
It's like true. I remember going to Montessori for like elementary school.
Okay.
And it's just like I have become a horrible student because of it, and to a certain extent, because I need that individualized, like, go do your own path, instead of standardized, and like that's like the easiest go-to for me, where it's like, yep, I got screwed over, and to a certain extent, for like the system. Like, I think it was the right system. Like Montessori was the perfect thing for me because like that's what I wanted. I didn't want structure. I hate structure.
Yeah, that's like, it.
I want to break the structure whenever it's there.
Yeah.
But it's like those things.
So this was in primary school?
Yeah, primary school.
But
so
high school was
regular? Just like a standard public school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you find high school difficult because of that?
It was, well, to be fair, high school was just very easy.
Yeah, too easy.
Well, yeah, just because like Montessori, weirdly enough, because I always had I have a complex almost, because all of elementary school, like all my teachers were like, oh yeah, this kid is smart. Yeah. He's gonna do really well.
Yeah.
And like, because academics came really easily. Again, that's why I thought I was gonna be a philosophy prof, just because like academics came easily.
That's right.
And then like went to high school, it was easy. Like I didn't study. I did, but I didn't. It was like I was academic, but I got involved with everything. I was like a music kid. I was doing sports all year round. Okay. I was like involved with a lot of different things.
Wow. And
then university came, and like university is like, if you don't care enough about something, like it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, true.
And that's what happened.
True. Yeah.
Like I would just not go to class, and I would just watch TV all the time. Yeah. There's obviously more reasons of why all that happened, but yeah, it was just
interesting.
It was just, I think it became, at least with McGill, it was too structured. It was I need to learn what the profs wanted me to learn, and then regurgitate that to back. And like, I can't do that.
No,
you're not asking me to learn. Then you're just asking me to memorize. And
exactly.
Those are two different skills.
Interesting.
I find.
Yeah. So would you say you have sort of a photographic memory?
I don't know.
No? So
I'm just like really good with concept. I'm not good with like specific details.
Dates and
dates. Yeah. Like, those are just like things that are superfluous in my mind.
That's
but high concepts, I love. It's just like, that's why I love philosophy. It's just like, interesting, like understanding a concept. Physics, I loved. Like biology, I hated.
Okay.
It's also because my parents were both in biology, so just like I didn't want to be my parents. But again, biology I didn't like because it was just always memorization.
Yeah, that's it.
At least like until you get to the higher level where like you are starting to think, like seeing how everything connects. Yeah. But physics I love just because like you get X amount of rules, and then you apply it to each given circumstance. Same with math. It just came, like it just clicked because there's simple rules that like you just have to always follow.
Yeah, true.
And it just builds on itself.
It's funny because I was really good at math and really good at art. Yeah. But history, forget it. That was like the one course I would cheat on. I would actually bring cheat notes because I couldn't remember even art history. You know, I didn't get all my credits at university because I just couldn't do the art history.
Yeah, I had like awesome luck with history teachers. Okay. And they cared way more about the concept versus like the hard dates.
That's what you need. Yeah.
It's just, especially like in today's economy now.
That's right. No.
It's just like you don't need to know the hard facts. You can look it up. It's easy to look it up now.
Well, especially now. That's it. Exactly.
And even like back, even like 20 years ago, like you could still find it in a book. Like if you knew where to look, it would take you a bit longer. Yeah. But you could find it.
No, it's true. No, I used to love writing essays in art history about like more contemporary work, conceptual work and things like that. And that was really, was more my forte. And that's why I love going to the galleries. And actually, they have an amazing show on now.
Really?
It's work from their collection, like their permanent collection. That's normally in the main the new wing there, and what the curator has done, they've selected certain works and then they've related them to a piece of art, in art history. You should go see it. It's super interesting.
Okay, so where's that at?
It's in the Musée des Beaux-Arts.
Okay, perfect. I remember. So it's great.
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, and well, there's also the Revolution show, which is the Beatles.
Was it good?
I didn't like it, but.
What was wrong with it?
I don't know. It was just stuff, It wasn't really that cohesive. There was
isn't that what every gallery is, just stuff?
There was a little bit of interesting stuff. Mark liked the poster of the hash that was about. He was like, I turned around and he's like, still looking at it. I'm like, why are you so interested? He said, I think I had this poster.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, Mark's special. Anyway.
Oh, it's good to have him on camera.
Yeah, exactly. But no, the work is like, there was sort of an interesting room with the sit-in with Yoko Ono and John Lennon. That was kind of interesting, and little clips. But I just found it a little too over the map. I think they could have maybe made a little more.
The curators could have done better.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I've learned that makes such a big impact about how you enjoy an art show. Just the curation.
Well, that's it. And I thought actually there was an audio to explain it a little bit. Yeah. It was just music. And then you go in, then there's other music playing. So it's it's a little too confusing. I don't think I want to wear these. Yeah, it didn't make too much sense. But so I think it was just a little too much all over the map. And then they had a little room that was like looked kind of like a record store, but I guess you could kind of flip through the records and stuff. Maybe if you were a record buff, it might have been more interesting. And then they had some fashion and then some random posters and Cool. But I did love the show in the basement. It was really, really cool.
Okay, I'll have to check it out then. Because I've been meaning to go. Because I also, it's just because I wasn't here for 2 months. Yeah. And then I've just been busy for the last month.
True, eh?
Keep on forgetting, just go, make the time.
No, it's a good one. And then they have Jean-Paul Gaultier has a show. They had a show of his work before, and it's similar, but this one is all white, like all wedding dresses, I guess. So like Madonna-esque wedding dresses. But actually, the setup for that one is gorgeous. Like the whole room is white, and the wall is it's kind of. Must be spandex, like fabric on the wall, because behind the spandex there's like furniture, and so it comes out. It's like poking out and stuff, and it just really fits well with the whole decor. And then for the Gaultier show, for the previous one, they did the same thing. There's mannequins with blank heads, but they project the face on the mannequin, so it actually blinks and talks, and so it's kind of funky. Yeah. The other one was like that too. So. I just love going to the gallery.
Yeah, it's good. It's one of the things, it's always good to know like what makes you happy. Yeah. And then always do that. Yeah. It's like I always forget that if I don't see a movie or a TV show, I would just like start to like feel like I'm entrenched in myself. I'm like, why am I doing this to myself?
It's true.
And because it feels selfish sometimes to like take that time. But then you realize it's way more important.
It's so much is, and it's such an inspiration, learning experience. I remember when I lived in Toronto, I used to go to the repertory cinemas all the time. Yeah. And I don't think they all still exist, the ones I used to go to, but I used to see like the best films. I used to go alone though, because none of my friends had the same taste in films as me. I remember my brother used to come with me sometime. He remembered one called, you've probably seen it, called How to Get Ahead in Advertising.
I haven't actually, but I've heard of it.
You know that one? You know the story?
I'm not familiar with the details.
So it's a guy, I don't remember all the details, but he's got sort of this alter ego. And so it starts off as like he's got this little mole on his shoulder type of thing, and then it grows and grows, and it becomes his face. It's like an alter ego. So his alter evil ego gets bigger and bigger. Oh no! And his head finally, the nice one, shrinks, and it's a very cool movie. In fact, I'd like to see it now because I don't know if I would appreciate it as much as I did at the time. But I remember really loving it at the time.
Yeah, because some movies don't hold up when you watch them again.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, maybe I built it up in my head too to be something else. I know.
For me, it's like one of the formative movies I've watched growing up was Accepted. So it's the story of 4 friends who, for various reasons, didn't get to the university that they wanted to, and they just start their own university.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's actually a really bad movie when you watch it now.
That's not with Jay Barenthal?
No, but it's Justin Long. So similar, all that vibe. I think it's Jonah Hill's also in it. Okay. Incredible what he's done with his career. Okay, cool. But it's just like that idea of like, okay, you can make it on your own, and like you don't need to listen to the rules. Yes. Completely has influenced what I think about in life, and it's a formative movie. Yes. But I can't watch it now. Almost. Oh no. Well, I can, but it's just like very guilty pleasure where it's just like this is horrible. Like this is an objectively bad movie.
Okay, so it's a badly made movie.
Yeah. Well, it's just like it tries too hard, and it's preachy, and
that's it.
It's not cleverly written.
Yeah, that's right.
But the idea that was there behind everything was
That's
so
it.
good, and it just stuck into my heart.
You have to be in the right mood to watch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah. No, we have a few movies that we watch over and over, and most of them are very good.
I love how that's how it always happens. Just like the movies that you watch over and over again, most of the time are not that great.
It's true. It's true.
Because like you just like associate them with a certain memory,
Yeah.
and that's why you watch it. It's not
No.
the actual movie itself.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. Yeah. There's certainly certain actors that I like, and yeah, it's just. I wish would go out more to watch more movies. Like I don't really make that much of an effort.
It's okay. You have galleries.
That's right. I do.
Like, you don't
I do
need
the
to-
galleries
yeah.
thing.
That's enough.
I did. What was the one I saw recently? The Big Sick. Did you see it?
Not yet. Everyone's talking about it though.
Okay, yeah.
Everyone. I went to watch Detroit.
Yeah.
I saw the new Spider-Man. I want to see Dunkirk as well.
Okay.
Because I know that's going to be incredible. Like I'm going to
Wow.
go to IMAX and actually
Okay.
see it in the right way.
Okay. Yes.
Because it was made for IMAX.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
so few movies are made for IMAX.
Okay. Okay.
But The Big Sick, I've heard it's incredible.
Yeah, and I just randomly saw it. I don't know if it was in the movie magazine or a review or something, and I'd never heard of the comedian, but I just thought the story was so touching, and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't think it would be like that much. I mean, I knew it would be a comedy because he's a comedian,
Of course, yeah.
but it was really fun. I really enjoyed it.
I think the really interesting thing is that the fact that it's actually the story of him and his wife.
Yeah.
Because that's what's grounded in.
Yes, yes.
And like they wrote it together as well.
Yeah.
So they filled in the gaps apparently about like what they each felt during certain moments.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
no,
it
it
just-
was really, really well done, and you know, I'm sure they switched it up a little bit to make it more movie worthy,
Of
but I
course.
think the gist was there,
Yeah.
and no, I really.
I've heard it has the heart there.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the only criticism I've heard is that it again puts like women of color into the role of like very traditional, like conservative, like they're a foil to like the mainly escaping like Indian culture. So that's the only thing I've heard criticism.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'd have to watch it again with a different eye view.
But that's also
that's
just
right.
that's the only thing I've heard of.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. No,
It's just because like it happens too often in movies where like Master of None did the same thing.
True. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's another Hasan not Hasan Minhaj. Oh, actually no, Hasan Minhaj, his stand-up comedy, it still had that foil a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit, but though at the same time he like in his stand-up, he also like does talk about the fact how he married a woman that was, I think, if I believe correctly, Pakistani, so which was also tension in that. So like a little bit better, but he still had what like the main arc of his stand-up, his latest stand-up was the story of how he had his heart broken by a white girl.
Okay.
So it's interesting. It's
interesting.
it's interesting time right now, like with all that stuff.
It's very, very fine lines sometimes.
Yeah,
about
it's
what's
hard.
acceptable and not. Definitely. Yeah, that's it. Do you ever go to stand-up comedy?
I haven't been to stand up in a while.
Yeah.
I've been more to improv a lot.
Okay.
I did improv for 7-9 months.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
I want to get back into it just because I'm horrible at it, but I enjoy it as a process, understanding like how actors think a lot more.
That's it.
It's just kind of also a fun activity.
Yeah.
But I do actually want to do stand up at some point. Like,
okay. Yeah.
Personally, do it. I don't know if I'm going to be good at it at all.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Yeah.
But it's just like something that I want to try. Or just like because personally, I think I have perspective that's different than a lot of people.
That's right.
Just from like where I came from and like just like the weird kind of mix of like everything that I've been.
That's right.
It's different than a very typical.
Yeah.
It's also weird saying that as a white male.
Yeah.
So it's just like I'm very hesitant to even say it out there because then I know I'm gonna get hate on it. I know it.
Yeah. Well, I know I love stand up, and I just I actually have a friend of mine that does something called laughter yoga. I don't know if you know laughter yoga.
I've never heard of it, but I'm intrigued.
Okay, so laughter yoga actually started in India. It's been around for quite a long time, and basically you laugh. You get together in a group and you force laugh, and then ultimately it turns into a real laughter, and it's got a lot of therapeutic qualities. People use it to help therapy with cancer patients, to relieve pain, all kinds of like release endorphins and all that kind of thing. And so this woman that I know that does it, she's called Lily Laughter. And so she teaches laughter yoga. She can certify you in laughter yoga.
Yeah.
And I keep saying, Lily, you got to do stand up and all this stuff. So she did in the last laughter yoga course she took. She taught. I went, and she didn't do it live. She had taped a little mini stand up, and so she played it for us. And she's getting there. She says she did one, I think, and I was out of town or something, but she's supposed to be. But there was another. It's funny. I remember years ago, and I don't even know. I could probably find it if I looked it up, but it was a man, maybe Canadian, I'm not sure, but he taught stand-up comedy to people with depression. And so they would actually, as a therapy, take this stand-up comedy class. I guess it was like an ongoing class. And then at the end, they would actually do a routine. And this was a film. I wonder if you could maybe see it on YouTube or one of these things.
Yeah, probably somewhere.
I'm gonna look it up, but it was brilliant, you know. And I never liked stand-up growing up, but I think I have sort of this a new appreciation for it. Yeah,
I find the best stand-up is the ones that like really take the pain of normal life and just like show how it's ridiculous.
Yeah, true.
I think one of like an incredible stand-up comedian, Neil Brennan. He did a recent Netflix stand-up special. 3 mics, I think that was what the name was.
Okay.
And it's just like the most like hard thing to watch in a way, because like he goes through so much just horrible things.
Wow.
But it's funny at the same time, and it's just like I think that's an interesting way of looking at it.
True, eh?
And I think it's also like it depends.
Sort of a different approach too.
Well, it depends, because like there are different types of stand-up comedians.
Yeah, true.
I think it's with all of media right now, it's like we've gotten to the point where like we have so much good content, and that there are different genres now, and like they're really getting into niches.
Yeah, true.
And they're exploring like different areas, because like 30 years ago it was all slapstick comedy, and it was like very much just like stupid comedy in a way. Well, like obviously there was like more elevated, and doing too broad a stroke. Yeah. Because there was like a lot of awesome comedians, but they were doing a cheaper laugh a lot of times. Yeah, I find. True. Or maybe I just wasn't aware of it. Growing up more. Yeah. But the ones who like dig into deeper problems, I think those are interesting. It's the reason why I love Louis C.K.
Okay.
Because even that, like, he's not uber dark. Yeah. But it's the fact that he just talks about his normal life. He's not trying to make something ridiculous. He's just like, okay, this is what happens. It's kind of ridiculous. Yeah. This is how I feel. Talk it from there.
Yeah, well, I think especially now in this age of the internet and what we talked about, entrepreneurs kind of like putting their heart on their sleeve, and really it is acceptable to do that now, and you can find the humor in it because it's not taboo anymore.
It's the era of authenticity, because that's what sells it. If you're not authentic, no one's gonna believe you anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
Which changes the game, where before everything like it was proper, like you had etiquette and protocol, and like if you didn't do that, like you were this weirdo.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. Right? Yeah. No, I follow a comedian on Instagram, and every now and he'll post something, and he'll say, I'm not sure if I should do this as a joke in my next routine. And he does a lot of like pretty, out there stuff. And,
well, that's what a comedian's job is to push the boundaries of what's acceptable.
Exactly.
If they're not doing that, then they're not doing their job.
Well, that's it.
It's hard for the public to understand that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, most of his humor is pretty out there, but then he's also a dad, right? And he's got young kids. Yeah. And so recently he posted a joke, like a pretty, innocent kind of joke about his kids type of thing, and I found it really funny, especially since it's like you see his double persona in this, and he can see the innocent humor through his children, but yet he still has this other side
whereas he's more serious,
is more related to adult humor type of thing, and do you find a happy medium, or do you just create two kinds of content for two different audiences, which is probably what he'll end up doing? Because I said to him, you got to do more kid jokes type of thing, and he said, I'm working on it for my next show type of thing.
I think with that it's weird, because like we've been told that you need to be niched to be successful.
Yeah.
But the issue is the fact that no one is themselves a niche. Like personalities are so widespread. No one is only just one thing. That's insane.
No, it's
if you're
true.
just one thing, then like you're probably a boring person.
Yeah, true.
Because
true.
You just, unless you're like the best at one thing, maybe then like you're allowed to just have like that one focus.
No, it's true.
But it's just like it's so unnatural because like you're allowed to be interested in say doing cartwheels and then painting and say playing football. Like they're not mutually exclusive.
No, it's true.
But like we get forced into like you need to be this one thing because that's what people expect from you.
No, it's true.
It's
true.
It's hard.
And people get so defensive too. Like I know certainly with the vegan thing, you know, the minute someone decides to be vegan and post their recipes and their opinions, it's the hater comments, right? It's like that. And I mean, basically you just have to have really thick skin because it gets ridiculous.
But so this was lovely. So
that was awesome.
It was nice. I'm glad you could make it.
Thank you so much. This is fantastic. The meal was great. The conversation was great.
Yeah, now for two for meal was great.
Yes.
I'm waiting for the day when someone's like, this is horrible. What did you like feed me?
Oh, well, there you go.
I'm gonna look forward to that.
And you were lucky you got someone to come in that doesn't eat much, so you got lots of leftovers.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly.
That wasn't my intention, but I enjoy it. Now I have a meal for 2-3 days.
That's awesome. Thanks, Charlie.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that is it.
Good.
That's the show. This week we were produced and edited by me. Our theme song is by Ashmeda. Our logo by Isabel Lee. Special thanks to Heather. Check out her YouTube channel, Heather Board Wire, or follow her on one of her many Instagram accounts. I'd highly recommend Heather Board Comics. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on YouTube or through the iTunes podcast app. We'd really appreciate it. And again, I'm George Poppy. Till next week, have a good one.